Oh, wow, you're already there. Wow, first person. Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Inline Figure Skating podcast. And today I have Antonio Panfili from Italy, who was originally an ice skater and turned inline skater, which technically I kind of am, but we're just literally on, I'm here, and he's off the charts. He's just off the charts. He's done the World Championships 4 times. Let's get him on. Let's get him on here. Hello, everyone that's joining in. Hey, Patricia. So he's going to come here. He's going to join, and then hey.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Oh, it's nice to see you. It's been a while since I was in Fasano, and I first met you. But so I'm going to give a little introduction about you. I'll try my best. So Antonio is 27. He's from Italy. He's living near Venice. He's competed 4 times at the World Championships, twice silver medalist, twice a bronze medalist. He's also been to the World Open, Worcester, where we met. He is a 2 times champion, 2 times silver medalist. He's also 2 times European champion. 2-time national champion, is that correct? And he was also national champion for junior in Italy, obviously, and 22nd at the Junior World Championships. And he also has his own competition, which is called the Diamond Skate Trophy, which is just outside of Venice. And he's just an amazing human being. And if I've missed anything, if you want to say a little bit about yourself, now is your chance, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for asking me to be there.
Oh, my pleasure.
And, so what about me? My skating career is of 20 years of skating, so it's quite a long career. And I started when I was 7 as ice skating. Ice figure skating, and it was, you start as just for fun.
Yeah.
It was on the weekends, and it was just, few times a month. And then growing, I started training more and more, and I got engaged in that. And the first big event I was called for, it was the Junior Grand Prix.
Okay.
And it was in 2012. And after that, I had another Junior Grand Prix, and finally the call to the Junior World Championship are all ISU, so International Skating Union competitions.
Yeah.
And they were amazing opportunities for me. I was competing with big names like Shoma Uno, Boyan Jean, Jason Brown, all guys that now are competing and fighting for a world title in.
And what was it? What was it like to skate with like these type of skaters? I mean, you're an amazing skater as well, but what was it like personally for you to be on the ice with skaters like this? Like, what did it feel like? What was the experience?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing because you started as a young kid on the ice, and you don't even think where you can go, just training, focusing, and having fun, because you have to have fun in what you do.
Of course.
There's no reason to do a lot of effort to reach that objective if you are not having fun. And when you are there, when you see other skaters, also the ones that are better than you, you know that they are technically better, they can jump quadruple jumps, they are so strong, so amazing. You can see that they are like all the other athletes. They are a little bit scared. They are they have to concentrate, they have to warm up, all like all the others. And so you feel better, you feel, comforted. You are not different than the other.
Oh, of course. Well, I think no matter what level you're at, if you're here and you're trying to get here, or if you're here and you're trying to get here, well, there's a lot of risks. You're always going to take risks, and that's why people get to the levels that you have and they have, because you're willing to go that little bit further than someone else to get what other people won't have. Did you find that they skated faster, or was there something like mythical about them, or they just seem very similar, but they just had a really nice technique?
I think that there some of them are really they have a lot of speed when they skate. Like Hanyan, for
Yeah,
example, is one of them. He's like train. He goes so fast and then he jump and it's incredible.
yeah,
And but it's not something that every good skater has. There are, you are in junior category, so there are skaters that are a lot younger than you and that are not so good maybe in skating skills, but they can jump, they can do spins that are incredible, and they have a technical level that is so high.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of amazing skaters at the moment, isn't there? Especially some of the young skaters coming up. Like it's why does anybody that's live, does anyone know why sometimes your screen starts going off when you're doing live like this? I have no idea why this happens. So what I'm really interested is when and why and how it was to transition from ice to inline. Like, when was the first moment you thought, maybe I can try inline? How did that come about?
I never thought about that because I my last figure skating career years were in I was living in Turin, near Turin,
Yeah,
because I was skating for the Ice Club Torino. That's the club in there, and I was a senior skater, and I was, training very well. All was going right in the right way. I was learning triple axel. I got the ability to land triple axel in competitions, and at that point, there weren't so lot of skaters able to do quadruple jumps like
yeah,
there are now. So being able to land a triple axel was just the difference between a normal senior man and someone that has the opportunity to grow and fight. And at that moment, I was also studying at university. I was studying electronic engineering, so it was really hard for me to live alone in, far from home
yeah.
and skate a lot of hours a day, train a lot of hours a day, and also studying a lot of hours a day. But it was going well till I got some injuries and all went down rapidly. And then, I was stressed. I had to talk to my parents, I talked to my coaches, and I decided to went back home.
Yeah. And what
And
kind
at
of
that
injuries did
point,
you have?
yeah, at that point, I was, satisfied of my career, but a little bit, mm, a little bit,
You're still
there
hungry.
was something less.
Yeah, you were still hungry for something. You still
Yeah.
had the fire inside that you're like, I have this fire. I need an outlet for this. Figure skating, okay, but what else could I do? And then you probably, oh, what inline? Let's try this. And then you probably see the level, and you're like, oh, actually, I can be really good over here. Maybe something like
So
this.
it, the story is that I spent 3 months doing a normal university person, so studying and doing nothing else, just
Oh,
relationships, social relationships. And then my sister at that time was coaching inline figure skating, and it was near my hometown. And you have to know that ice rinks are a lot far from my hometown.
Yeah.
They are the closest one is at 85 kilometers, so you have to travel for 1 hour and a half to get there, and it's just the closest one.
Yeah.
And so she was like a hammer every day. Come try inline figure skating just
Yeah.
for fun. Try it. You should do it. And after 3 months, I said, yeah, okay, why not? I
Yeah.
started, and one of her girl um, brings her skates to me, and they were 280, and I'm used to use 265. So it's like, you know, bigger skates.
Yeah.
But I managed to land all the simple jumps in a row, and it was, it was really funny. So
Yeah.
I decided to start for fun. People go jogging, and I
Yeah. Yeah.
was
Yeah.
skating few times a week. Then
Yeah.
then I started competing. And
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So your your feet are 265. So
yes,
I think I have would be 280. So this is probably like your feet are a little bit smaller than mine. Would that be a size 40 in European shoes? Is that 40?
40, 41. Yeah.
40, 41, yeah. So it's actually it's not so big. So for the three wheels, because we will talk about the frames and stuff like this, but then it's a little smaller than mine. It's probably not noticing the gap so much, I'm guessing, because but we will
No.
get to the frames. We will get to the
Okay.
frames, don't worry.
I have all of them, so
Yeah.
I'm
So
prepared.
yeah, so yeah, so when you eventually started like pushing, so you now you start to train, when you start to really try to push for double axel, for triple, what was like how was the transition to try double axel? How was your double axel on the ice? Did you skid or did you go from the toe?
No, the first one, skid.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a hard transition. Till now, double axel is not one of my best jumps at all.
Yeah.
It's a hard one because on triple I was used to slide a lot with the foot,
Yeah.
and if you try to do something like that on the wheels, you fall down very badly. So,
Yeah.
and I figured it out. So
So I have a strange question for you. So obviously you've watched yourself do your double axel. You watch videos.
yes,
And obviously you try to coach yourself. If you were to give yourself two tips to help you with your double axel, what would they be? Imagine it's somebody else. Imagine it's me. You watch me do a double axel like you. What would be the two tips you would give
the first one is to wait more on the foot.
before you take off,
So
before you
before
go off the
before you
toe?
take off, yeah, I have to wait more. But the second one is to pay attention, not to be as quick as before with my shoulders, because otherwise I wait with my foot and my shoulders turn, and that's a
Hmm.
problem.
Yeah. So try to keep more in time, lift up a little bit higher, and then rotate. Kind of.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's funny that you say weight. So I never had. I landed maybe two triple axels at some point, but I always had like double axel. This was the highest jump I had consistent. But when it wasn't working, I would think, okay, don't rush the takeoff. Take your time to jump up, and then it would start to work. So it's like these little tiny tips. It's and so there you go. Now you know what to do. Listen to yourself.
Yes.
you know, it's all often with a lot of things. When you just take your time, it seems to be better. But we think faster, faster, faster. And it's take your time a little bit. Okay, so yeah. So what else did I want to ask you about the jumps? Like what is your best advice for people jumping triples, learning triples when you're only on inlines for like falling, and how have you overcome falling a lot, or talk about something like this?
So the question is on people that started with inline or coming from ice.
Yeah.
because it's a little bit different.
Okay. Well, what would your tips be? Your advice for both? Because there is going to be both. So
You know, people that comes from inline, that comes from ice, uh, learn to land and to fall down in a way that is completely different from inline. You cannot slide on the ice. Yeah, you can slide on the ice. You cannot
yeah,
slide in the surface that you use for inline, so concrete or parquet. So um, you have first to learn how to fall down. It's funny to say, but it's really important to know that because triples, to jump triples, you have to be quick, you have to go high, and you have to have a lot of speed. And when you fall down very badly, and
yeah,
you want to hurt yourself too much. Otherwise, then you think you are scared to jump again.
yeah.
You have pain, and that's a problem. So first of all, that. And for people that comes from inline that learned how to fall down, uh, one of the most important thing is to jump off ice, off skates.
Yeah.
Learning to jump off skates help a lot to learn how to do jumps with skates because you have more confidence with your body, you have more confidence landing and all this stuff, so you can try to do a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah. This is what I'm starting to see, because I mean, only recently. It's funny how it came about. So I started a page in September, October, called Extreme Pair Skating, where I was just highlighting all the best quad, inline, ice, pair, like doing all the tricks I do, just posting their stuff. And I start to see a lot more of quad, and then I start to see more quad single skaters, and I start to see the technique, and then I see that, and then I start to watch it a little bit more. And I notice I'm like, okay, the way the quad technique looks, it looks like they probably practice a lot without the skates, because falling on those, you have to be so perfect on quad. You have to take off perfect and land perfect. So I'm like, those falls must be tough. So there's probably some stuff to learn from quad skaters for inline. Maybe the preparation, the off skates training and stuff like this. I mean, have you found this, especially in Italy, where there's a lot of quad skaters, right?
There's always to learn something from the others, I think that. So you can learn from ice and from quads, both.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one question I have. So, when you do off skates training, do you ever train with one skate on and without one skate?
Yeah, we do some exercises with our athletes. Like, for example, Axel, you can take off the skates on the right leg if you are right-handed, of course. So you can jump like a normal Axel, but you land on your shoe,
Mm,
and that's important.
yeah, yeah. Because I've been thinking about this lately. I'm like, because I have a couple of students, and they're stuck at the axle. They're stuck, and obviously I don't train them in person. One is in Malaysia, one is in Lanzarote. So I'm like, because I don't want them to hurt themselves. The worst thing is to hurt themselves, right? So I'm trying to figure little ways, because it's new for me. I was coaching on the ice. It's different. I'm trying to learn. That's why I'm talking to you. I try to learn from as many people as I can, so I can give we can give more information to everybody, because if we all work together, Italy, Spain, Taiwan, England, France, if we all work together, our sport grows faster than if we all keep our secrets and we don't talk. Like, this is more, figure skating is a little bit more, everybody has their secrets, but so that's
No,
that's
it's
a good tip.
important.
That's a
Yeah, I
great
agree. I agree.
yeah, that's a great
Coaches
tip.
has to talk with each other, and it's something that I do because also for me I'm not the best athlete, I'm not the best coach. I just want to learn and be better,
Yeah.
and everyone has something to teach you.
Oh, 100%. Everybody. I'm learning from, I learn from some of my students that they're learning to do a waltz jump, and I'm learning from them, because they're like, oh, I couldn't do, but I tried this and it worked. I'm like, oh, because for us, we can do a waltz jump. We don't even think about it. We could do it the other way, and it's but when you can't do it, you're trying to work out how do you do that, and then they teach you. Like we learning from our students so much, so much. Maybe we should be paying the students, you know, but we got to eat. We got to eat, right? Yeah. So okay. So let's. I want to talk about your specific training uh, for a competitive inline skater, which is at you're at the top. So, what does your training look like between on skates, off skates, your strength and conditioning, maybe your dance, ballet, choreography? Like, how would when you were competing at the top, how would a typical week look like for you? What would that look like?
So at the moment, I'm training with my highest competitive athletes. So we have a group, and I'm training with them. And my coach is my sister, and we have some on skates sessions. And between 2 hours of trainings, we have some exercises like stretching and strength, something like that. Once a week, we have a personal trainer that help us with a focused lesson. And once every 2-3 months, we have a test with the personal trainer that help us to keep track of the improvements, and with the results, we can decide how to change the lesson.
Okay.
So that is the main part.
Okay, and what is the test consisting of? Is this consisting of some strength, endurance, flexibility, height, jump height, or like what kind of stuff are you testing?
Yeah, things like that. So it depends on the month, and what we want to improve in that month. So it can be from the ability to run for to run as much as you can in a short time.
Yeah.
That can help us for the preparation for a program, for example, or just use of your legs, or of your body in general.
Okay.
So different exercises.
Yeah. Do you run? Do you run at all? Do you any running?
Yeah, I run, but I prefer to jump with the, I don't know how to say it. Um,
The jump rope?
yeah, the
Yeah,
jump rope.
yeah,
Yes.
jump rope. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I prefer that.
I'm not a fan of running. I can do it. But it's like it just becomes boring. No, or, I don't know.
Yes.
You know, everyone has their own thing they like to do. So yeah, so interesting. So when you because obviously you have your own club. Is you and your sister is your club together? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you have your own club, and on most of your coaching, is it done in groups? Obviously now it's a little bit different with the COVID times, but do you find the group training is a really good way for
Yes,
teaching?
I think so, because every athlete try to keep things that are positive from the others, and they have a little bit of social relationships. What we want to grow up is a club, not single athletes, and that
Yeah.
is important. When you go to competition and you have all your friends from the club that clap their hands, maybe not now that
Yeah.
competition are you are alone inside, but when you can be public at the competitions, it's really important to have someone that help you and motivate you
Yeah.
in that way.
No, that's good. And I think when you have the community of your club, there is healthy competition as well because you all
Yes.
kind of trying to be a little bit better, and then you're learning from each other. You know, it's really good. I think this is why synchro starts to be popular because you kind of they have that family. You know, you have your 20. I don't know how many skaters is synchro. 20, 30. It looks
I
like a lot
really
of
don't
people.
know.
Yeah.
I I have to admire coaches that coach synchro, because it's really hard for me to think about, managing so lot of skaters in the same time.
Yeah,
It's really hard.
yeah. It looks quite tough, but I mean, I can see why some coaches want to do that because financially, it could be quite. You have a synchro club, and then you might have three teams of 30 people. So you could. It's a good way to make money. This is what I've heard from synchro coaches. I'm
Oh,
not one. I need to learn how to make money. I'm not very good. 20 skaters for synchro. See, it's good to have Prissy here. Prissy knows so much that I don't know. She's just there to fill in the blanks and actually, that's what we all do, right? None of us know everything. We don't know everything, do we? Okay, so what do I want to ask you? What do you think is the most? So what was my question? Yeah, what do you think is the most important aspect of anything to be successful as an inline figure skater? So off skates, on skates, spinners. Like, what do you think is the most important to spend the majority of your time on?
uh, in my opinion, figure skating is made about a lot of different aspects, and you cannot focus, is not the best way to focus only on one of them. Maybe you can focus a little bit more in the one you are worst, but uh, it's important to get the right time and to train for the right time every aspect. Otherwise, the result, the score is made about technical elements score and program components. And technical elements are just a half of the score.
Yeah.
And if you focus only on the jumps, you are focusing only on a part of a half of the score. Maybe you will be the best jumper, but
Yeah.
you won't win a competition.
Yeah.
So you have to train all these different aspects, probably starting from paying a lot of attention on the bending rhythm on the knees, doing a lot of steps, because everything in skating starts from there. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think it seems very beneficial to work on your weaknesses, right? Like we all remember when we were younger, you just, as a guy, for me, I just want to jump. I want to jump, even though I wasn't that good. But I would never spin because I prefer jumping. So we just jump all the time, but we never work on our spins. Even now, it's like you want to do, okay, so I'm just going to go and do a really nice double flip or, whatever you like to work on. And so I think it's good to work on your weaknesses, like the steps, or maybe put some music on and just improvise a step sequence or anything. Like I think improvisation to music, it's so fun, especially when there's nobody there and you can just do what you want and you just see what happens, and it doesn't matter if you mess up. Like, do you do stuff like this?
yeah, I do, and it's really cool because for people that are still learning, it's really important to like make some improvisation because they are not thinking on the step they are doing. They are just skating, and that helps them to achieve, to be confident with their skates without thinking on what they are doing. So just skating and trying to move the upper body part. This is really important.
Yeah, the upper body. I think I don't know if you know his page, Jimmy Tavares. He made a new page, the skating choreographer, and his posts is more about working the upper body while skating because a lot of us guys, especially guys, we like to just skate and nothing really happens so much here. We're thinking about really cool steps with our feet and nothing happens here, right? So it's good to do something a little bit different like that. Oh, what did they say? How long have you both been skating? Well, okay, so I will answer first. I skated the first time when I was 11 and it was rollerblades. So yeah, I started on rollerblades. So technically I'm a rollerblader that went to ice. And I started ice skating at 12 and I joined shows at 17. And I joined shows at 17 and I did ice skating until I'm like 37. and then I switched to inlines. So like, 36, like 3 or 4 years ago. And now I'm only inline. I don't ice skate. So okay, you can answer yours now.
Oh, I started skating at 7, as I said before, and I was on ice, and I switched to the inline, if we can say that. I stopped skating and then I started inline. It was when I was probably 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you ever go ice skating now?
Sorry?
Do you go ice skating now? Like, when was the last time you went ice skating?
2 years ago, probably,
Yeah,
because the
yeah,
COVID
because
situation blocked the wall. So
yeah, I'll tell you a funny story about ice skating. So last year I did Cirque du Soleil. I finished the show at the end of December. I went to Vegas. I was there for like 10 days, and then I came back, and I hadn't been on ice for over a year, and I had to do a number on full ice. I've never done a number on full ice. I've always done smaller ice, but I went from a tiny stage on inlines, and then I did a full ice rink. I opened. There's a huge ice rink in Austria, in Vienna, in front of the
okay.
town hall. This massive. I opened this on ice skates. I remember getting on the ice. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so scared. And I skated with a partner I hadn't skated with for 4 or 5 years as well. And then I went back to inline, and I've never gone on ice since. I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay on inline. You know, it's here. I was supposed to. I got my ice skates sent over, but I'm like, I just didn't go on. I thought I'm just going to stay, because when you start switching back and forward, it's different. Although you can do it, things become different. When you get used to leaning over on an edge on ice, well, if you do the same thing on inline, you can't really go as far and you slip. Like Natalia, who is here, she on when it was open, she would coach on the ice for 2 hours on a Saturday, then inline for 3 hours, and then 2 hours on the ice in the afternoon. She would go back to from one to the other, which is crazy. So anyway, back to what we're talking about. Yeah. So, do you think it's a good idea for ice skaters that, let's say you're in your country, depends on what country it is, and you're around, fourth or fifth senior in your country? Do you think it's a good option for those to switch to inline?
I think that everyone should try inline.
Yeah.
Not only skaters. If you play tennis, why not try? Then if you like, you can go on. If you don't like, you can do other stuff.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity, thanks to my family, to try a lot of sports during my life, and like, tennis, skiing, snowboard, ping pong, a lot of different sports, swimming too. So, and what is important for someone that want to do something as a sport, so not only for have fun, but just also to compete, to grow, then you have to choose something that you really like.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. So I have a question for you. Have you played ping pong on inline skates?
No, tennis, yes, though.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yes.
oh. When we see each other, we'll have to play ping pong on inline skates. Here's another question with ping pong. Have you played with three people, where you hit the ball and you have to run around the table, and then the next person's coming around, and you have three and you do this? Have you done
No,
this?
never.
I did when I was in Holiday on Ice in rehearsals in where was it? In Belgium, in between Antwerp and somewhere else, Brussels, maybe somewhere like that. I don't remember. It was only 3 or 4 years ago. I don't remember. But they had a ping pong table there, so almost every night, because you rehearse in the same place that you live. So we'd always get some beers, and we would go and we'd drink some beers, and we'd be running around the table. And after about 30 minutes, we would all feel sick, because you drink beer and then you do sport.
I can imagine.
But it was so fun. It was so fun. Okay, so where are we getting to? Oh yeah, which is your favorite competition that you've ever done? Which one do you think back to, and you just like, that was so fun to do? Maybe you didn't even win, but maybe you just enjoyed the atmosphere, the experience. You just had a good skate. You just did the perfect spin. I don't know. What comes to mind?
So, talking about ice, probably the second Junior Grand Prix. It was in Chemnitz in Germany, and I skated really really well. But it's my opinion, but
Yeah.
I was at the end ninth, so it was for me a big big improvement, and it was amazing to be there. And talking about inline, probably the competition I organize,
Oh, of
not
course.
just
Of
because
course
it's
he was the
mine.
best.
No,
Oh,
I have to say that Fasano was really cool. Yeah,
yeah.
I had a really great time. It was, World Open is always a great competition to do. And but I have to say that the Diamond Skate Trophy in 2018, it's been a really cool experience for me because I had, when you organize a competition, you have to think about a lot of other stuff other than skate and help your skaters go on the surface.
Yeah.
And it was with ice rules because the federation was with these rules. There was this agreement between WIFSA and federations. And so we had all the panel, all the computers, all this stuff, and I had to manage the results to be up on the website till 30 minutes after the signature. All this, a lot of these things, and then I had also two skates, and we were 140 skaters from 7
Wow.
different countries. So it was a big event if you think about inline competition.
Yeah.
Not like a World Open. World Open is the biggest, but that competition was big enough to be
Wow.
just a
That's
competition.
amazing. And I bet you still have messages that you never answered. I bet you still have some people that send you so many messages. I'm sure all the time you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, you have to run from one place to the other because
Uh,
you have to manage all. Me
yeah.
and my sister, of course, we are not
Yeah.
alone, and we have to thanks the lot of volunteers that are the parents of our skaters that help us every time in all the stuff, all the
Wow.
things
That
to do.
that's amazing, because I think, like, imagine there was no competitions, like, if for skating, there was no re it's good to do something just to get better. But if you have a goal, you're like, okay, I have a competition in 3 months. I want to achieve this. I want to learn this. I want to have this music. There's something more than just learning something, which is already cool. And what made you decide to put your own competition?
Um, I had the opportunity to compete in great competition when I was on the ice, like Lombardia Trophy or Finland Trophy, that are big events. So I always wanted to do something for the sport, for my athletes. A competition that's not only competition, just that I'd like when I compete to have fun, and the idea is to um, organize something where a lot of people can that are love this sport can find other people that love that sport,
Yeah.
and it's quite a party, not only a competition. So there are younger skaters that can watch the first division or the best skaters, um, like Nozova comes one time, and so there are also great skaters, but it's open to everyone, adult skaters, synchro skaters.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So
amazing.
it's for
Yeah.
everyone, and that's important.
Yeah. Well, I think that this is, I mean, even more nowadays. But I think the message of, like, that sport is for everyone, or like for us, skating is for everyone, and nobody kind of gets left out of it. No, you can't compete. You're not good enough, or you're too old, or I don't know if you know about Inclusive Skating, a charity based out of England. Do you know about this charity?
You talk about that in the previous podcast,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I heard that.
I think what that. I mean, I only heard about them like a month ago, 6 weeks, and they've been around for 10 years. But what they're doing, they have the competitions that people with challenges like mental and physical can take part in. So what they're doing is amazing. I was hoping to have a category for them in my competition that I'm releasing next month, but they're already doing some stuff. So it's just going to be like, I mean, it's still 7 categories: juniors, seniors. But it's similar to what you're saying, like about like, because I'm going to put my competition. It's like I just want to give something back to the community. I want something really cool for people to look forward to, you know, and yeah, you know, similar reasons. Although people won't be able to hang out, they'll just watch a video of everybody, but it will be different, you know. But okay, so now we're going to get to the interesting stuff. Now we're going to talk about tools. And when I say tools, I mean boots, stoppers,
Yeah.
wheels, frames. So what is your history of boots and frames that you've used so far?
Oh, so I started with the ice one. It's
Okay.
I don't know because I see my face very big in the preview. I don't know if you see my face big too,
Yeah,
or you
yeah,
can
yeah.
see me quite
Yeah.
well.
You want? I can like. I'll show you how you look if you want. Can you see yourself?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you can see my
it's
ring
kind of
light now.
weird because I tried before with my photo camera, but
Yeah. This is
I
what it
was not
does.
so big.
Yeah.
I really
I know.
don't know
Imagine
what
if I
happened.
turn my lights off. Now I look
Oh,
like normal. Yeah, 10
anyway,
euros. 10 euros these lights. Yeah.
I started with Ice Fly from IDEA, and that's the boot I'm still using. And then for the first inline skates, I use the Snow White.
Okay. Now, can you move it back a little bit? I want to see
Yeah.
how I want to see your your
Mm,
the full frame.
okay.
Yeah, so I
You like
think
that?
it looks, because I mean it looks similar, like a similar gap to mine, right? You have like 2 fingers here
Yes.
and then a little bit here. So this is so let's talk about that frame because it's basically the same frame. Mine's just it's just different, but the mechanics and the wheels are the same. So this is what I find. Then I'm curious if you find the same. When the first 2 wheels are a little bit closer than the back two, I feel like sometimes I fall forward onto towards the stopper. Like, do you ever notice this, or it's just so normal for you that you never notice anything like this?
Mm, I always notice that, so I am always falling on the toe. And I started with the toe stop very
Hi.
up, but now I'm always going a little bit down. Every year I'm mm, a little bit down with the toe, and that helped a lot to not to have this big jump,
Yeah,
but having it a little bit less.
yeah. Because like, so this is what I skate on for 4 years, and I would always be here, and then I would go to these wheels, you know. And it's obviously balanced frame, like, so I'm in the middle and going to these, but then something I've noticed. This is just me. I know we're not. It's about not about me. It's about you. But I'm just telling you my opinions because we've never actually spoken about this stuff. We just messaged. So if this wheel is here, like that's the same as the Snow White, you know. But then when you put it here, then it's the same distance. So what I find from this is forward and backwards turns feels the same. Like I did a video like yesterday. I thought I'd maybe do like 2 doubles, and I did 4 double 3 turns on 1 foot like this. You know, it wasn't pretty, but the fact that I was able to just go back and forward because it was even. I haven't tried it on Pick or Snow White. I'd like to try it. I'd like you to try this stuff because you're a much better skater than me. So I'd be interested to see what it feels like for you. Because I feel like it's just even going back and forward, you know, between the forward and backwards turns. And I don't feel like I'm ever going to fall forward because the wheels have more space, you know. And I'm getting a lot of people asking me all the time. They say, oh, I'm always going, I'm full forward onto my toes all the time. And I'm going to show you a picture of, let me show you a picture. So a lot of skaters send me, like, can you see? Can you, oh God, can you see how close
Yeah.
those wheels are? Yeah.
Yes.
So in my opinion, when I look at that, I'm like, okay, they have 72 millimeter wheels. They should have 68 millimeters. So then there's a little bit more gap between.
Yes, probably. Yeah.
You know, it's like, I mean, there's a lot of things that I only know from because I'm lucky that I get to test loads of different frames. So, and I'm trying to do figures. I'm trying to do different things, and not to. This isn't like a bash on roll line, but when oh God, look, I mean, it's good for you because you can talk to roll line anyway. So when you see that, look at the size of that gap.
Is that real?
Yeah, it's real, and isn't that crazy? So look at that.
It looks quite
Yeah, so,
weird.
yeah, so when you look at that, and then you look at that, you know, or even like the Snow White, you know. So when I see that, what I think, I'm like, okay, that should have four wheels, like they may be 72 millimeters. That should have four 68 millimeter wheels, or space the wheels evenly, you know. It's just, it sucks for people with really big feet. Imagine you have size 46 feet. You know, you
Yeah.
have really, really big feet. That's when I think four wheels can be good. You know, it's, I don't know. I'm in all the groups, so I'm seeing everything everyone is talking about. So I'm always like trying to find out how does it feel. Oh, I fall on this. Oh, this feels weird. Oh, the back turn is so hard to do the back turn because the wheels, it's like a limousine. The wheels are so far apart. So this is just stuff. This might be stuff you haven't encountered. So yeah, give me your opinions on what I've just kind of shown. What do you think?
I've never tried to have a frame with wheels separated evenly, because also the one that I'm using now, that is this one, has a difference between the last one and the first one.
Yeah, I mean,
But you can modify that, so I can put this wheel a little bit
yeah,
um,
but
on the back.
we're talking like 2 millimeters, aren't we? Though it's
Yeah,
like
it's
two.
not so
Yeah, it's a
lot,
tiny,
but
tiny bit.
I can
Yeah,
choose how to um, make the rock ring.
yeah,
But I don't feel this big gap. I feel that we have only 3 points of balance. That's
yeah,
the main problem of inline, but you cannot try to find a solution. We have
yeah.
just
It's
space for 3 or 4 wheels, so
yeah,
that's it.
it's yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because like for me, I always just thought, okay, pick four wheel. It's the best. I tried three. I'm like, oh, it feels so weird. In my mind, I was like, okay, on the ice, you stand in the middle of the. You stand in the middle. I'll do it. On the ice, you kind of skate here in the middle most of the time. You kind of go back and you go forward, but you kind of here. Well, then if you have three and there's a wheel there, then you can't stand in the middle. But then
Yes.
you end up skating on the front, you know, the front wheel or the back. But then I've gone back to these. I put them on the other day because we had to make a promo, and they felt heavy, long, slow. It was really strange. You know, I don't know why it felt like that, but then I got used to it, and then I was okay. But initially, that's how it felt. I've noticed as well the 76 millimeter wheels on Golden Horse. It just feels faster. Have you skated on quads before?
Not quads.
You never tried.
Never.
You never tried.
No. No.
Oh, you have to try. It's so fun. Honestly, get some just to try. And it's like you get to start a new sport because you have to learn how to skate because you can't. The boot stays there and you have to lean. Your kind of ankle has to lean. You can't lean over. Try it. It's fun, but you roll. You do one push and you go forever. This is what I feel on the 76 millimeter wheel, the little bit bigger wheel, that you roll longer. So it's. I just want to have every wheel and every frame, and I want to test with all the different boots. I think the boot as well can make a difference. If you have a boot that's different, or if the frame, imagine people that the frame is not straight, it's like that. And they're like, I can't do this. It's that, you know, but it happens, right?
Yes.
You know, it's like the fitting frames. Sometimes it's not that easy to get perfect for you, right? Like, do you fit your frames?
Yeah, I think you know, I feel very well with this one of from Roland, and the main part that I like of them is the inclination of the toe stop.
Oh, that's what
That
someone
is
was
a
saying.
life changer.
That's what someone was saying. So show me again because I forgot all about that. So show with my, is it this? No, no, yours is a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
Ah, because these are these the same? Yeah, I think this is. Is this the same as yours? Does that look the same as yours to you?
No, a little bit more the
Down.
one from Roland.
I wish I had my. I
I
wish
think
I had
so.
my linear. My linear are in Tenerife, in my family's apartment. I didn't bring them here because I didn't have enough space, and I knew I was getting Golden Horse sent to here anyway. But I wish I had them now to test.
Yeah, that is a life changer because when you spin and when you jump like a loop jump, you are not pushing too much on the toe, not on all the toe, like in Snow White, but only in this part, like the first part of the blade.
Interesting.
So
Yeah,
the
this
friction is a lot less, and you're not stuck in position.
interesting. You know, and from what you've seen from other skaters, you feel like a lot of other skaters find it easier to spin on roll line.
Yeah, they say the same.
Yeah, yeah, because it's. I think jumping. It's. I mean, I'm not jumping so much. I did all the singles. I mean, only singles. It's just a single. I did them all on the Jackson one, which is the same as Snow White, and the jumps felt really nice on those. But I like that boot as well. And but spinning, I can't spin on these. I don't know if the stopper's too soft, but when I go to spin, I just stick like back spin. I can do three rotations, and it sticks. So have you tried many different stoppers before?
Yeah, the not many, but this one and the one from the Snow White, that is smaller. But the problem is that, for example, when I use the toe stop for the lutes, when in the takeoff I put down the toe stop, here I can put the toe stop right there. But with the Snow White, the problem is that you put down here
And you slip.
and you slip,
Mm,
and that's a problem because
it's funny
you
you say
lose your
that.
confidence, and the next try you are scared, so it's
Yeah,
always a problem.
yeah, because
Anyway,
yeah,
you
no,
know,
but this is super interesting. Like the value that you are giving to me and to everyone listening here, it's like it's amazing. So like I did a looks just to make this video 2 days ago. The last time I did a looks was 5 years ago. I haven't. I mean, I haven't been jumping anyway. But when I would jump, I would personally. I just love doing double axel and double flip. Those were the two jumps I loved. Okay. I'm not doing lots. When I was trying to work out, just remember the technique, and then especially to do it on inlines, I'm like, a couple of times I did slip. I was like, did I slip then, or did I not slip? I'm just doing a single. I'm just trying to really think about the technique. And now you say that, I'm like, okay, I must have slipped. So that could be another issue there. So we're still searching for that perfect frame. You know, it's like that frame because that's something I didn't think about that originally. If I go back like a month, 6 weeks ago, I'm like, okay, whatever frame, it doesn't matter whatever frame. Just all that matters is a good surface and they have the right wheels. Now I'm like, okay, I start to test the different three-wheel frames. I'm like, okay, that feels different. When I put that on, I don't think I can just do turns like I'm on the ice. I don't think about it. And then the wheels sometimes slip. And then the toe stopper, I'm not spinning. I'm like, okay, there's a lot more here. Like for you, in your opinion, imagine someone is doing like maybe a loop, maybe working on their flip on ice, and they're like, okay, I want to start inline skating. What frames do I buy? What boots do I buy? I'm like, how do you answer this question? Well, because obviously you have to answer this question with your club. What do you say to skaters
It's really
who
hard.
don't have who don't have loads of money as well?
Yeah, it's really hard to choose a frame. You know, if a person is coming from ice and he's able to jump, for sure I will say linea, because they have better feeling when they start jumping, you know, triples or also doubles, and it's quite easier to turn in the spins. That's what I found for me the best. That's what is the best for me as a frame, and so it's my choice.
Yeah.
And other than that, you know, a lot of person has problems going to the gym and skating on the gym because the gym owner don't allow to skate on. And so this little part here that
Yeah.
you can see helps to make that people to understand that always also follow on the when you fall on the
On the floor.
surface, you
Yeah.
won't hurt the surface because you are on a plastic surface on the frame.
Okay.
And that's another thing that is you know, easy but is important.
Yeah. Well, I mean, having a place to skate, this is a battle for a lot of people. I mean, it's cool that you can skate anywhere outside, but if you are really trying to push your limits, then you need the best surface, the best facilities to do this. Otherwise, you're just going to hurt. If you're doing it outside on the floor when it's not perfect, it's dangerous. No,
Yes, but
interesting.
anyway,
Okay. So,
another things that I think is important is the profile of the wheel, because as first I'm using this one that is more rounded, and as you can see the difference from the second one and the third one.
so the last two are the
It's
same. They're the more
yeah,
of the more. I always forget the name. Elliptical, the more pointy ones.
yes, more elliptical.
Okay.
The first one is more rounded.
And which hardness do you use, and which wheels do you use as well?
So I use 72 millimeters as diameter and
Yeah.
82 the first one, and the other are Zenith from Roland that are 78A.
Oh, 78A. So they're quite soft then.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So with you using quite soft wheels, do you and you've obviously used the harder wheels like Synergy or Speed Max or something like this, I presume, right? Uh,
Yes.
so do you find because in my mind, and maybe this is just in my mind, because now I got these wheels. I'll show you. So I got these. Oh my god! I just tripped over. I got these wheels there. They're the Jackson wheels. They don't say what they are. They just say Super Rebound. Like that seems like it's something that Pixskate would say, isn't it? Super Rebound. I'm like, how hard is it? We don't know. We don't tell you. Well, these feel even just to feel. They feel really soft. When I first tried these frames, they just felt. I mean, this was the first time I was going on three wheels properly. So okay, let's try three wheels, and I felt like I couldn't do anything. Like they were too. I was sticking everywhere, and I put my Synergy on, and I felt better. Now, is that because I expected that to happen? Because these, I don't think they're 78. They're probably maybe 83 or something. I don't know. Maybe they are something like that. But do you find, even on soft wheels, that your turns feel easy? Like, how is that for you?
It depends on the surface. If you're, you know, skating outside in a surface like concrete, probably won't be so slippery. So you can use, and it's better for you to use harder wheels. If you're skating on the parquet, for example, or in quartz concrete that is really smooth, then you have to use softer wheels.
Yeah. Oh, you probably like. I'm sure you've had the wheel too hard, and you've gone for a spin, and you've just slipped. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens
Yeah. This
lots of
happened to me
times.
actually. This actually happened to me the second time I tried the roll line. I think I had the wheel. I don't know what wheels were on there, but I think they were a little bit harder than you're using. And that's a scary fall. That is, because you fall so fast. So that would be like, this is another thing as well. When you're on the really smooth surface, do a little bit softer wheels give you confidence to land your jumps, that you're not going to slip on the landing.
Takeoff.
Or
That's the problem.
more the takeoff.
More the takeoff, because
Yeah.
when you have a lot of speed and you have to make pressure and yeah, press a lot the edge to get, you know, the power to jump higher, then you go down. If you're like in some type of parquet that I don't know what they put on, but you go down like
Interesting.
what it's like walking on a banana.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, interesting. So that's real good. I think as all skaters, we've seen the different wheels, and we're trying to be like, okay, maybe that's better for spinning, and maybe that's better for turns. Because when it's more like this, it's a little bit better for turns because you have less surface on the ground, right? And then at the front, it's better for spinning. So you know what's strange? So I saw this butterfly frame that Yifan Chen, that's his name, that he was
Yeah.
using. I'm like, okay, they're spaced evenly between. There's some magic there. And then I find out that he doesn't have a rocker, that all three are touching the floor, and the middle is hard and the outside are soft. I'm like, that's like totally the opposite of what I would expect I would want. So I'm like, I need to watch some of his skating because I just know that he's amazing. I've seen him jump. I want to see his steps, his loops and rockers and counters, and how all this plays out with no rocker, because that must be hard.
Ifan is a really good skater, a really good jumper at all, and he comes from the quad skating, so probably that's why he has a different set
Yeah,
on the wheels. I used the first one because it's more rounded, so I have better balance when I want to do spins, because you're not going down like like this, but you're going slowly.
yeah. I would like to something that
And
I would really like to talk to you about actually. But let's finish this, and then I really something important to talk about after.
yeah, I think that ice skaters has better feeling getting the takeoff from these two wheels, and
Yeah,
maybe quad skaters um, prefer to stay on that part quite till the end and then change.
yeah,
So maybe that's why he used these type of wheels in the
yeah.
middle.
Yeah, I mean, it will be it's perfect to talk to you about this, and then on Sunday I'm with you. So I'll get to talk to him all about that. So in 1 week I have ice to inline and quad to inline, and I can understand if you're a quad, then you've never had a rocker, and now why would I want a rocker now? But the thing is, I have to imagine that his quad might have been this long, and now his inline becomes this long. I mean, I'm curious to see the points of contact of the quad wheels that may be here, and what's the difference? How far is the difference, between those 2 points? Maybe it's not that big of a difference for him, and it feels almost the same. I don't know, but that'll be an interesting conversation to have with him.
Yeah, for sure. Because mine is just supposition. I really
Yeah,
don't know if it's right, but what I
yeah,
think is that if you're an ice skater, you will see for sure that when you come to inline, you will land doing a little bit of curve,
Hmm. Yeah.
and if and the same thing for the takeoff. So it's always a curve.
Yeah.
But all or quite all the quad skaters are jumping most of the time from a straight line, and they are landing on a straight line. That may also be a big difference, because when I land and I have to block the speed of a triple, then I make a lot of pressure on the first two wheels, because I land on the toe and the first wheel, and then I have to pass to the
Yeah.
second wheel. So and I'm working on the edge, and
Yeah.
that's probably is not a need for Ifan that land perfectly on top
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
wheels.
It's so interesting, like for me, and I'm sure for you, to see there's a sport in the middle called inline, and then there's ice skaters over here and quad coming over here. But we've learned fundamentals similar but different, and then jumping and spinning. It's like it's not even in the same. They're not cousins. Like the way they spin, these outside edge spins and heel spins and all sorts of spins. I mean, it's cool, right? Those heel spins. But I think, can he do a heel spin on inlines as well? Did I? I think he. I haven't seen it, but he messaged something about a heel spin. So maybe he's doing the spin on the heel on inlines. Have you seen this or
Yeah,
not?
he is able to do it very well. I've seen him doing that, and I'm trying to. I'm not as good as him, so it's not a spin that I will probably put in a competition, but it's something that is cool to try and to master.
Hello, Elizabeth. Elizabeth Mora just arrived. She'll be on my podcast very very soon. So there, oh, it's I don't know. It's exciting. Like all the different aspects coming together, and it seems like inline is just in the middle, and everybody's like slowly coming here. So, so I think, oh, this is what I want to ask you about, because I only have my experience of spinning, and maybe what I think is not even what you are doing. Explain to me how you spin. Like, imagine I'm like, I never skated. I'm like, oh, how do you spin on inline? Just because some people say, oh, just spin on the first wheel. So what would you tell someone?
You have to be on the first wheel and touch the toe stop. So don't not to be on the toe stop, but in that part. And then you have to make a lot of pressure on the edge. So if you're doing a normal upright spin on the left leg, you have to press a lot on the inside edge. Otherwise, you fall down on the two wheels
Yeah. So
in the last part.
this is the same as what I was thinking, that like most of us, you just kind of practice and you kind of figure it out. Like I would always say, imagine you're going backwards and you're doing very small loops when you do a regular spin. So I think we're on the same page. And then the backspin, you really have to go over that edge, right? You really
Yeah.
like if you try to spin straight, you would just stop, right? You have to kind of tilt
Yes.
over, right? Okay, it's good. It's good that I'm like, okay, I what I think I know is actually, well, we agree. Maybe we both wrong, but you never know.
Yeah, I think that um, working on the outside edge in spin, so for the right-handed on the right leg, is really, really hard here in line. And if we compare to the ice, because
Oh,
the feeling to going on the outside edge and to press so lot on the outside edge, it's a strange feeling. You feel like you are breaking your ankle.
yeah. Oh, it can be scary as well. Like for skaters learning how to do a backspin, that can be a little bit dangerous because it so easily just stop. Like your wheels catch and stop, and you can have a really horrible fall. So I think teaching how to learn safely some of the harder spins, I think this is valuable. I think for coaches and for students as well. And so I have a question. Like camel spin, like
Oh,
camel spin. You know, it's that I never doing camel spin. I made a video how to spin on my YouTube just because I'm like, okay, and I managed to do maybe 2 rotations on perfect tiles. You know, but that's hard, right? That is a hard spin. Like, what is your tips for anyone trying to camel spin?
it's hard. So, you know, as always, a lot of training. You have to think to do a right free turn, and it's longer. The first part is longer than a normal free turn, so you get the center of the spin, and then start not to stretching the leg that is down, but take it bended for, you know, first rotation or a rotation and a half, and then a little bit every time try to stretch it, but
Yes.
start the spin with the knee bended.
Okay. Yeah, because it's one of those because you obviously when you have students that have come from the ice or just people messaging them on my page and they're like, oh, I can't do my camel spin, and maybe they love doing the camel spin on the ice, you know. And this leads me. I'm just going to talk about something. So I wrote about managing expectations, and it was mainly aimed at adult skaters going from the ice to inlines, but then I realized it's actually for everybody going from the ice to inlines. So imagine you're on the ice and you're doing triple toe, or you're working on back outside 3 turns. Well, whatever level you are on the ice, I think then you should go back, like take a couple steps backwards and get really, really good and comfortable here, and then start building up. Don't go straight on there and first they try triple toe, because you know what's going to happen, right? You know what's going to happen to that skater. You've just got to go back, and then you've got new goals, and you just have to build up. And don't get frustrated as well, because it is. So you get on inlines, and it's like, okay, this is easy. It feels like ice, and then you go to stop, and you hit your wheels, and you fall down. You're like, okay, I can't stop like that. We've done that, right? And you feel
Yeah,
like you're going to snap the frame off, and you're like, you know. And then it's just managing expectations and making sure you're having fun, and you're not pushing too much too early, because it's so easy to fall weirdly. So yeah. Anyway, that's my managing expectations.
I
Even though
agree.
from
I agree. It happens. I see many ice skaters trying inline and trying to skate as in the ice, but you know, they look similar, but they are different sports. You cannot skate as an ice skater on inline because you will fall down for sure. You
yeah,
have to understand how to use this equipment and learn how, you know, how the balance is on inline, because it's a lot different. And yeah, as you said, the stop is different and is the first thing you have to learn, but also trying to making quite every turn is a lot different than on the ice. So you have to learn before jumping and going on. And uh, I think it's right to um, put some expectation low on the grade you are able
yeah.
to do on the ice.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So something that I think I would say most skaters don't spend enough time on is working on the basics, on figures, field moves, basic turns, and especially when you on inlines, everyone kind of they don't really look at like just doing basic like this. My challenge this week was just it starts simple, outside edge, then a full circle. Now a full circle, depending on what frames you're on, it can be very easy, or it can be really, really hard to hold a full circle. One, your wheels might slow down, and two, your frame feels like it's pulling you out. Like for example, on the golden horse, I can be on the back 2 wheels or the front 2 wheels, and I can stay on the circle. Now, if that same frame, if I move the wheel forward, I could be on the back 2 wheels for the first half, and then I could bring my leg through and then go onto the front two wheels, or I can stay on the front two wheels all the way around. But on those back two, like, I'm curious for you. Obviously, you spent time doing figures. What have you noticed by being on the different points of the wheels to do just basic edges or more advanced edges?
So I feel the same. When you're doing a free turn, you have to manage how to put your pressure and how much pressure you put on the edges between the forward part and the backward part, because it's different. As you said, the wheels are in a different place, so there is a space that is different from the first and the second, and from the second and the third. So that means you have to press more on the edge when you are backward in a free turn.
Yeah.
And when I started, yeah, I had to spend a lot of time doing steps every type of turn. It's really hard to do Twizzles on inline. So I get
Twizzles.
the ability to turn the inside forward with a Twizzle quite well. But if we are talking about the outside, it's really, really hard to do it really quick. That's
Yeah.
why you will see for every inline skater is doing Twizzles lot slowly, and compared to the
Yeah.
ice.
Well, because so when I made this challenge yesterday, the reason I did the challenge like this was one, I asked what people wanted: jumps, spins, turns, figures. The top two was figures and turns, so I thought I'll make a challenge together. And I only thought, okay, well, I'll do a three turn, maybe a double three turn, maybe a triple or something like this. But then I obviously went up to 8, and it wasn't pretty. But the fact that I was able to keep turning, like one to the other, one to the other, and it started to feel like I was getting close to doing Twizzles, but outside Twizzles. Basically, when you're doing Twizzle, do you feel like you just kind of, I mean, too many boots. You're rocking up onto one, onto the other. You're kind of just rocking backwards, like lift, lift. You understand what I mean? Because you
Yeah,
can't just stay like on the ice. You just slide. You just slide on the ice, don't you? On the center of the blade. Well, this you kind of rock, but if you go too fast, you kind of get lost, and you just get stuck, right? Like, what
yeah,
is your
it's
tech?
really hard.
Yeah. What is your technique for Twizzles? It's just like doing three turns, but kind of fast.
You have to master the ability to go from the first to the last wheel very quickly without going too much on the edge. It's really hard to do, and if you're able to, you will be able to do a twizzle quite quickly as the ice, but
Yeah.
it's really, really hard. Also because the risk is to jump the twizzle. So you are doing this movement with
Yeah, but
the,
but too big.
and when you do it a little bit more, you jump, and that's a problem.
Yeah, yeah. I tell you, who's really good at Twizzles? Priscilla. You're Prissy on wheels. Like, I posted just like it was the first time I've been doing any sort of turns or edges or whatever, and I thought I was really cool, and I posted it, and then she did it, and then she made one that was even better with like a lot of counters and rockers and Twizzles, and I'm like, I've never tried any of that on inlines. I'm like, I feel like I would be a little bit scared. What would be really interesting? Like, the top girls, the girls that their step sequences are mind blowing and they're doing quads. I would love to see some of these girls after 6 months on whatever the best frame would be for them. I would love to see where they could be. That would be interesting. I know we do have some really good Russian skaters doing inlines, because I saw them in Fasano. There was some really good ones there, and I'm
Yeah.
sure now, 2 years later, I'm sure there's some really, really good ones. I need to actually find these Instagram pages with those skaters. I mean, is there any that come to mind for you? Any girls that you can think of now, like some of the younger ones coming up that you've seen?
Yeah, I've seen that one, the not one but Some of the Russian skaters are really, really good. I'm sure they are coming from ice because I can see the rhythm on the bending of the knees. And but you know, there are a lot of
Yeah.
today there are a lot of skaters are coming from ice or are coming from the quad, and others are growing from inline, and that's cool because you can see the difference between all the three type of skaters. When I started, there were few skaters coming from inline and they were all young. Now there are skaters that started with inline and they are going to senior, so with a senior level in first division, and
Interesting.
this is cool.
Yeah. Ah. Okay. So you have your club. When did you start your club?
It was 2016.
2016.
Yeah,
Okay. And how many members do you currently have?
we have near to 90 athletes.
90. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what have been the challenges to start a club or to have a club like that you've gone through? Maybe some advice for anyone starting a club. Like maybe I'm going to be starting a club, and maybe some other people are starting a club, and you don't know anything. How do you start a club? What would you say?
So the first problem we had, it was a hard problem. It's what we said before. So finding a place to skate on. No one, there were no place with a roof to skate on. So we had to find other places. Fortunately, we found a place in agreement with another association, but without a roof. So we skated for 4 years,
Wow.
hoping and fighting with the weather, and that is really hard because if you are skating and you are competing,
Yeah,
if
that's
you
tough.
have a week and every day of the week it's raining, it's really hard to be prepared for that competition. And winter, it's raining one day and for at least 3 days you won't skate on the surface because it's warm. This is a big problem. But we believe in what we are doing, me and my sister,
Yeah.
and we are making very lot of efforts. And finally, we had the help of the Venice administration, and thanks to all the people that helped us, they built a roof now and a new surface on that places where we were
Oh,
skating. So now there's this big park and this place where we can skate and we can, grow better our
oh, that's
skaters.
amazing. Yes. What do I want to ask you? Yeah. So, as someone like me, you know the role of the roller rink I'm going to coaching. Like you've seen it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So maybe you want to come and coach with me there. Maybe you bring your skaters and we have a place. So we, yeah. So this is why when I have the offer to go there to coach, I'm like, it's the perfect place. Now I just need the skaters. I don't have the skaters yet. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens for me over the next few months. And actually, tonight in 1 hour, I have a meeting with the Federation of Artistic Roller Skating in UK because they're just quad, but I want to talk to them about let's introduce inline. Because they already have everything there, right? If I was to try to create by myself, I don't want to sit at the computer for the next 5 years to write everything. I don't even know what I need to write. So that'll be an interesting conversation tonight, and hopefully I can have some good news about that. Okay.
so good
What do you
luck.
think is the? Sorry.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
I'm a little bit nervous. But it's I've got to do it right. So, what do you think is the most important part of coaching for inline figure skating? Like what is the where should most of the focus be, in your opinion?
So I think that a good coach is the one that can change his technique on the skater he has in front. So, you know, a simple example is if you have an adult skater and a child, you have to teach them in a different way. And the same thing if you have a right-handed and left-handed skater is another, easy example. But that can be, focused on two skaters that are quite the same, but for someone, something is a help. For the other one can be, not so helpful. So as a coach, you have to understand what are the preferences of your skaters, and you
Yeah.
have to understand how to teach each of them in a different way. Then, the technique, the general technique is quite the same, but you have to adapt that to the skater you have in front.
Yeah, maybe a different entrance to a Salco or something like this, or maybe you work more off ice or off ice. Did I say off ice? God, I'm gonna like shoot myself.
Yeah,
Every time I see someone say off ice, I'm like, we don't have ice, but I say it as
yes,
well. But
I do the
it's
same mistake every time.
yeah. It's always good to think about because you're like, okay, this is how I do it, but then they can't do that. They work it out sometimes, and then you're like, you learn, okay, that kind of works. That's good. That's good advice, and it's always good to remember that as a coach because you get used to doing something the same way sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, there's not the perfect technique. There's the technique that suits more better on a skater, and the one that suits more on the other skater. For example, you can have a skater that use a lot the right hand to push the rotation, so you have to help them to block that rotation with the left hand to get in place and to be perfect on the air. But another skater maybe is not so strong with the right right hand, or doesn't want or doesn't push too much with the right hand, so has to push with both of them to get the same results. So in my opinion, it's not good to train all of them in the same way. I know of coaches that don't want to train athletes in the left-handed way. So if someone is left-handed, they want them to train as a right-handed, and sometimes it's not so good.
That's
Mia
dangerous. No.
Kostner is a great skater, a wonderful skater, one of my favorites, and she is left-handed when she jumps, she spins,
Yeah.
and all of that. So why should I have, as a coach, block someone to jump in that way? There's no reason. I
Interesting.
have to change me as coach to
Yeah.
train him.
I've never heard that as a coach, that someone would want to do that because I think you just you naturally are right or left-handed. You naturally kind of spin one way. But have you noticed dancers like as a not ice, not roller, just actual normal dancers? They learn to do everything both ways, and they are as
Yeah,
good spinning both ways because like a three turn you learn them both ways, but we don't learn jumps both ways. We play around trying to jump the other way when you're a kid, right? And then there's always that story. The coach comes up, stop it. There was this one guy called whatever name, and he was jumping the other way and he broke his leg. Every coach has this story,
yeah,
but this person probably doesn't even exist. But you can just see that. But the worst thing is you don't know how to fall the other way. You get used to falling one way and you fall the other way, and it's scary, you know.
it is. Anyway, I started learning how to jump and how to spin as a left-handed, and it was really interesting because you me as a high we can say high level skater, it was hard to go back to the feeling of someone that is not able to skate, because when you start a spin, you have to think of all the things that a new skater should think to learn that exercise, because
Yeah.
it's a new exercise for you too when you start spinning on the opposite way. And that was interesting in that side, and it was important for me because when I want to train my athletes, I always try to show them how to do things. I think it's important for them to visualize what they should do. So being able to jump and to spin as a left-handed helped me to show that to the left-handed athletes. Of
Oh,
course, I'm not
interesting.
jumping doubles, but I'm able to
Yeah,
jump quite well
interesting.
the singles.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Yesterday, because this week I posted like learn a jump in 60 seconds, just a single, and someone said, "Oh, could you post it mirrored as well?" And I thought, how cheeky are you? That's what my initial monkey brain is like. How cheeky are you? Just down, and then I thought, what a good idea, because it literally takes me and then the InShot.
Yeah,
I use InShot. It just mirrors it. So then I put it in my stories, and then today's it's the toe loop, but then it's mirrored. Obviously, when I talk, I'm saying the wrong hand, but visually they can understand what that. They can look at that, and then so I think it's a good thing to think about. Even if it's 1% of people, imagine if you are that 1% of people, and you always, always, always get left out. Everything is taught. Okay, you're going to take your arms through. The right's going to come through your rib cage, for whatever you're doing. But no, but that it's my left hand. Not that I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to coach. Okay, you're going to take your right arm through, and if you're doing a left, we're going to do, because then it's twice as long for everything. But it kind of sucks for them, doesn't it? For
yeah.
those few people, it's always opposite. So I think as a coach going forward now, I'm going to really try to pay attention to that. Maybe I don't know. I don't even know what I'm going to do about that right now, but there's something there that can be done to help those few people. So, and you're jumping the other way. I don't know if I'm going to start trying to jump the other way. I do
It can be a
occasionally try to,
challenge.
I do occasionally try to spin, just an upright spin the other way. And I'm like, this is a bit scary. I'm going to fall backwards. Okay, so next question. What how do you think we can make inline figure skating bigger and better? Like, what do you think we should be focusing on? Obviously, doing this and all of us talking together, that's helping. But is there anything that you're like, God, we should start doing this? What is there anything that you're thinking about?
Keeping talking, keep it talking, and being respectful from coach to coach and from club to club, because it's a period is it's hard to find respectful people everywhere. Here on the web there's a lot of hate, and that's not a good thing for sport. So
No.
keeping the environment clean is a big improvement, and something that it's really important if someone want to learn, want to talk, want to understand. So right questions and all this stuff is important to have a good community that can answer the question, that can help him to understand and to grow.
Yeah, like I've seen a lot of love and a lot of positivity on. I mean, now my circle of Instagram is different. So for myself, before, when I was just posting like cool tricks and this kind of stuff, the whole energy of that, then just like, oh, look how cool I am. Oh, now I'm in Vegas or whatever. Now it's like everything I post, there is value for other people. It's not about me. It's like, okay, I'm going to post this. This will teach you this, or this will show you this, and this, and then it just creates a different environment for everybody to then share their own success or failures, that then other people can help them. Because you see a lot of the progress accounts now, where people they're super beginner, but they're posting every day, and then other people see that, and then they start to post, and then you've got a lot of like beginners posting, and then they kind of cheering each other on, and then us as coaches, we can cheer them on, and then it creates an environment of positivity and kind of trying to lift everyone. as opposed to, oh my God, you're so bad. Why are you skating? You know, because there's these
Yeah,
people. Like I had someone come on there, and yes, he can probably do all triples, but he was like, oh, the internet makes it look like anyone can skate or something, and I'm like, I've never even met this guy, you know. So I'm like people like that. It's like no,
yeah, it's
no,
just stupid hate that doesn't even make sense. If you are
yeah,
so good, then do it. Show
yeah, you
it.
know,
You know, do what I'm doing, but do it better. And
yeah,
I
oh,
will be
exactly,
here to clap my hands.
yeah, you
So,
know, it's like what I'll be honest. Sometimes I see things and I'm like, my first instinct is I'm a little bit jealous of something, and then that was like my monkey brain. Then my whatever, I don't even, I'm not that smart. Then my actual brain, whatever it is, then I'm like, oh wait a second, that's inspiring for me. You know, I'm like, oh, actually they inspire me. Yeah, I'm going to do it like that. I'm going to try something like that. You know, so we should always try. You see someone being successful, then be inspired by them instead of jealous of them, because it's easy to be jealous on Instagram. Everybody is showing their perfect life. You see the 1% of the 1% with perfect bodies that you never see in real life. You know, you see the best of everything on Instagram, and it's very easy to be like, my life doesn't look like that. Like my life sucks. You know,
yeah,
but all you can do is your best. You do your best. You try to lift other people up, and you just do your best. You can't do better than your best. You know, in anything. You know, so
yeah.
yeah. So okay. Uh, I've already asked that question. Are your best advice for beginners starting to skate? So they're just starting to skate. Literally, they don't even have skates. Like they don't have skates. They don't have that much money. Would you tell them to get regular rollerblades first, or what do you normally tell people? What is your take?
In my opinion, they can try to skate with roll braids, or that kind of skates. It doesn't matter if they are for meant for figure skating or just for normal skating. It's important to learn the balance. It's important to learn the first exercises, like being able to stay on one foot for like 3 seconds, and then learning how to turn with 2 foot, like doing slaloms and bending the knees, so going down and
Yeah,
sliding down. All this stuff can be learned without a good skate. Then when you start skating and doing salto or toe loop, so you must learn a free turn. Then you will need a toe stop, and so you need a figure skate.
yeah. Do you ever like? So imagine my skates. So imagine this is a normal rollerblade, and there's no rocker. Do you ever tell people to make the front and the back like 4 millimeters smaller? Then you would have the same rocker like this. If you know what I mean, can you see?
Yeah,
Yeah. Have you seen people doing that, or is this
no,
because you haven't seen it?
no, never. No, because it's not so important to get that feeling. They are new skaters, and they will learn the good feeling when they will start using a figure skate. So there's no reason to have a different feeling with our rollerblade. It's just something that they will use for 3-4 months and then change. So
Yeah, because this is something I've been really talking and thinking about with a few skaters that have used these. Because at the moment when we coach here, we coach about 100 people on a Saturday over like 5 hours, and they all just have normal rollerblades. And I see how hard it is for them to try to do a slalom when all four wheels are touching the floor, because you stick. And I'm like, okay, if you could rock. Oh look, my daughter, it's been there for like a week, painting my nail. If you could be on a rocker, then you would be able to slalom. Because for some people, they're happy just to have normal skates. So and they maybe don't want to do figure skating, or they can't afford figure skating. So here in Poland, for someone to pay, I mean, the cheapest frames that I know about at the moment is actually the new ones from Spanish company Q Skate Navarro, which are 107 or euros with just the frame, no wheels, or 110, something like this. But then if you want to buy a boot, a second hand, it's for a lot of people. I mean, these are just coming out, so most of the time it's going to be around 200 euro, isn't it? Give or take 30 euros. Then it's expensive for some people. So
Yes, it is.
this is the hard part. Like, do you think getting second hand boots at the beginning with frames can be an option?
Yeah, maybe it can be.
You
For
know,
example, if you have a club and you grow a lot of skaters, then they will for sure need to change the skates when they
yeah,
grow up. So they will have a skate that they probably will sell, and that
yeah.
make the wheel.
Yeah, this is perfect for, I mean, a club when you have the kids every year they have to get a new boot and frame because their feet are growing. So you
Yeah,
always have the ones to get passed down to the next ones. This is yeah, this is great,
this
So
is
this
great,
is
but starting is quite hard because you need someone that can afford a skate, or you as a club you have to provide them the skates, so you have to make the investment.
yeah, because I mean it's if you're going to start skating, then you're going to have to have lessons, and you're going to there's going to be it's not a cheap sport. Like what is so just out of curiosity in Italy, like what was the average for like a 1 hour lesson? Maybe you paid or maybe the average price for 1 hour lesson on ice for coaches. Do you remember what this was?
Yeah, when I coach as an ice figure skate coach, uh, prices are from 25 euros an hour to 40. This
Really?
is the level, yeah.
So it's very cheap, and that's in that like income like well I say cheap
But
here. Here.
only the trainer, only the
Yeah,
coach.
yeah,
Then
here.
if
So
you're Yeah, then you have to pay probably the rink.
yeah, so here in Poland, it's between like maybe 12 euro per hour up to maybe 20 euro per hour here in Poland because everything is really cheap, right? But then in England, it's like from £40, so maybe from 45 euro per hour, and then it can go up, depending on where you are. And in the States, it's between 60 and $100 an hour because I'm coaching in the States, and I charge $60 an hour for people in the States.
Hmm.
But I know other coaches charging 100, and I'm like, I couldn't. I would like to charge 100. It would be nice,
Yeah,
but I would feel like that's a little bit too much. I'm like, I'm happy with $60 an hour, right? You know. So interesting. It's
but
interesting to know. Yeah.
yeah, it's prices are really different in my opinion compared to the inlines. Inline skating is a lot cheaper uh, if we talk about everything, because other than the skate, but if we talk about the blade in ice, best blades are lot of expensive, more than
Yeah.
the best frame in inline. So compared to the ice, everything is cheaper. Um, you don't have to pay so much for the rink, because ice rink is expensive more than normal gym. And also, if you want to participate to a competition, if you want to participate in a ice figure skating competition, the inscription fee is higher than inline.
Yeah.
So there's a
Interesting.
difference between them.
Okay. So
Anyway, it's an expensive sport if we compare that to probably something less expensive like maybe jogging, so running or
Yeah,
doing something like that.
yeah. I think because often I've noticed that for some jobs, like if I go to have a massage, for example, in any country, normally whatever the massage is, that's kind of what you're paying a coach, a personal trainer, you know. So here it's like I go for a massage for £20, and then if you coaching, it's around this, you know, it's similar. In England, is the same, like about £40 for the go for a massage. It's always some jobs seem to be very very similar, you know. So uh, I'm interested what it's going to be like in Roller World because of where it is. And the owners, they used to charge about €50 for half an hour lesson. That's what they charge there because they were so busy. I'm charging a little bit less, but I'm going to see how it is. I'm the only coach there. I don't know yet. You know, it's going to be interesting to see if it's busy, how it works. I don't know. We see. We see. If there's no one there, I don't know. You know, so it's like everything. You kind of have to start somewhere, and then you see. Like my online coaching, like what I charge for a month is like it's cheaper than what I charge for 1 hour live lesson because I just wanted it to be cheap so everyone can kind of more people do it. But it's always hard to know what to charge. You know,
Yeah, it's
always.
hard to understand, what is the right place between what the people want to spend and what they can afford.
Yeah.
So that balance.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
anyway,
I always want to give more value than I'm getting. If you understand, I think as a coach, if you can always try to give more than you get, then you're going to be doing the right thing, I think. But,
yes,
yeah. Do you have any questions for me?
yes, I have some questions because I've never, I've done just few things as a pair skater, but when I was a child, so I'm really curious about how do you have to train to be able to, lift a girl and do it safely.
Well, I think the number one is to train almost similar to how you actually doing a sport, right? So for me, most of my training was shoulders. Like, you know, most guys they go to the gym and they do the chest. For me, it was more about my shoulders. I always wanted to have really, really, really strong shoulders and then also a really, really strong back and legs and core. So I've always, not always, but maybe for like 12 years, since I started doing pairs, I started going to the gym and I just started to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And I found doing the lifts often on the floor, like just repetition of the lifts, especially when you're learning and you're teaching someone, then you using the correct pattern for the lift and you're using the right muscles. It's like when you want to train a program, it's like what's the best way to become fitter to skate my program? Skate your program. Just do it over and over and over. So doing the act is the best thing for it. And I'll tell you something really funny. The first time I tried to do a lift on the ice, I was 21, and I tried to do just a basic sit lift, and I got to here, and I was scared, and I never tried again until I was like 28, because I had the fear. So if you have the fear to do something, you will not give 100% into it. All right. So now, I mean, some of the stuff I did in Vegas, when I look back, there was one point like where we only skated once in 6 weeks. We didn't skate because my partner, she hurt her arm. So for 3 weeks, we didn't train. And then we went to a photo shoot where we did all these crazy tricks in a storm drain where the floor was like this. And we just did every trick once and we did every trick perfect. And I look back at the videos. At one point, she was this close to the floor with her head doing a headbanger. But I have so much confidence in what I do there because I've done it so much with so many different partners that I don't even think about it. I just do it, you know, because I trained so much at some point. You get, what's the word I'm looking for? You get celebrated in public for what you do in private. You know, if you work hard in private for hours and hours and hours and hours, and then you come out and you do something and it's just so easy, and people saw you do it once and they're like, God, you know, but they didn't see you train for 6 months on something. So I would say just train so much that you don't need to practice. You get to that point where you know, your body knows, like you don't need to practice how to walk, do you? You know, it's like, imagine there was a point where you couldn't walk, right?
Yeah.
You know, but then now you wouldn't, you know, so you get to the point where now you're like, okay, to do a single axle, you know, it's nothing, right? But at one point that was hard. So it's just repetition, but good repetition, practicing in the same way. And yeah, I would just say practice and have confidence and just go for it. One piece of advice I would like to say to every single person, especially if you're a guy and you go to the gym, is, or just a guy in general pushing, is sometimes the ego kind of it talks too much, it does too much in your brain than what you can physically do. So maybe you try to lift too much weight for yourself and you injure yourself, or you try to do something that you shouldn't be doing yet and you injure yourself. Because I've had many injuries, all of them were stupidity. I was like trying to do splits on the ice and I hadn't warmed up and I was learning backflip in the morning. So I had tight hamstrings and I pulled my hamstring. Or I've hurt myself in the gym trying to lift too much weight when I didn't need to. You know, if imagine, sometimes you're like, okay, I really, really, really want to try a triple axel on inlines. I really want to do it. So, okay, if you do it and you land it, what will you gain in life? Okay, I will feel I'm cool. I'll be happy with that. Okay, and what else would you gain? Nothing else apart from in here. Okay, what's the negatives? You could really, really hurt yourself. And then if you hurt yourself, okay, I can't coach, I can't compete. So sometimes it's like, I don't need to do that. It's like, now I really, really want to go and try doubles, but for what? So I can post on Instagram, oh, you're cool. You know, I'm like, I've done all these jumps before on ice. I don't need to do it now. You know, so it's, I think it's just, it's the same with all the lifts and stuff like this. It's like there's some lifts that I know I can do, but I don't always do them. You know, it's, and different partners. Like for me, every girl partner is different, right? It's like ingredients. Some girl might be smaller and more flexible. Another girl might be taller, not as flexible. And so I can do different things with different girls. This girl likes this. So it's, for me, I'm really lucky that I'm able to work with different girls, some without skates. And it's been, like, last year was amazing for me, what I got to do with different girls. It was really cool. Anyway, enough about me. I'm like, no one needs to know about me. It's about you. It's about
so
you.
Cool to,
you know, it's like,
to know this experience.
Yeah, it's.
Then you have been also in a lot of show in TV talent.
Yeah, I've been
one.
Yeah, I've been really lucky. Like in ice shows, the only reason I went to inlines is because I'd done every show, and now all I can do is do what I've already done. I literally did. I did Costa Favolosa, Italian ship, Royal Caribbean, pretty much all the theme parks in the world, the touring shows, you know, all the shows I could do. So I'm like, okay, let's do inline. And then we did Poland's Got Talent twice, Romania's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent. Well, we were supposed to do America's Got Talent now. We submitted our video. It went all the way to the NBC executives and they loved our story. They wanted us to come and do the show. But like, we've just gone into a lockdown here and we can't train and we'd have to leave our daughter for 2 weeks. I'm like, now is not the time. Yeah. Now is not the time. So, you know, we still have Romania and maybe we're doing Spain's Got Talent as well. Maybe, we'll see. That's in June, if we do it. Because this is the thing, right? Do you find that you can't do everything? Like right now, my focus is coaching. My focus is trying to put my competition together, trying to do the stuff with the federation, going to England to the roller world. All the coaching stuff is here. And then I'm actually have offers for jobs, really high paying jobs, one in Denmark, one in Germany. It's like, that would be cool. But it's that all I get there is ego and money. I'm not really bothered about filling my ego. My ego has been filled for the past years, you know. And now what I get from coaching, that's like a million to one compared. You know, performing is cool, But you know, when you do, imagine you have to do your program 3 times a day, for 3 times a day, 6 days a week for 6 months. Could you imagine to do that?
Yeah,
That's what,
it it begins to be our routine. You are not
yeah,
so lot involved in what you're doing because you're losing passion in what you're doing.
exactly. You know, this the perfect scenario for a show is you do like Thursday one, Friday one, Saturday one. So you work 3 days a week. It's really high paying, and then the rest of the week you can be coaching or you can be doing something else. You know. But when I find that job, maybe there'll be one in London that I can go on the weekend. You know, when I'm there. But it's good to be have a little bit of both. But coaching, as you know, coaching is so fulfilling. You know,
Yeah, it
it's
is.
from
It's hard, really hard, because you have the power to change the life of these people you are coaching, and it's if you think about that, it's really powerful what we are doing. But in the end, you will see how you change them, and what they learned, how what they learn is so important.
yeah.
Normal people won't achieve neither the 1% of one that is making sport and is growing himself inside a sport. It's really hard to have the passion, to understand what a passion is, and to have the ability to stay focused day by day, and you know get what you want from the trainings, doing trainings every day, every day, every day, till you are able to do what you want. This is something that only few people can do by themselves. So as a coach, you have to help all your athletes to achieve that result, and when they achieve that, you have it's wonderful.
No, I mean that's so true. So I have a question for you. So when you have a student that kind of it just gets stuck, and you feel like they've got to a level, and it's been now a couple of weeks, maybe they stuck at their axle or they stuck at something. How do you help them to get through that? That's like that next level. What do you kind of do with them?
You have to be patient. There's people that have to work a lot for a lot of time to understand that only winning the um, to put part the to be scared, not to be scared. So going on, not to be scared, and that feeling is really hard to achieve. Working with Axel, you can see that a lot of people can be stuck for like 1 year trying and doing that jump. So
Okay.
you have to be patient, not to press them or press them when it's the moment to press them. So if you see that they are like doing all correctly, but they are not using all the power to get the full rotation, or they land with 2 feet and not with the only one. So that's probably the moment when you have to push them to say, come on, it's nothing else than a jump. You
Yeah.
are jumping and you are landing, and you are not falling. So you're doing the right thing. Just try to push a little bit more. Maybe it's not today the day you will land it, but try to do just a little bit of step more, and every day a little bit of step will give you the ability to land it.
Yeah. Do you know the fishing pole harness? Do you ever use these?
The fishing, yeah,
It's,
yeah, the one to help them to jump. Yeah,
yeah. Are
we
you
use
using these?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
can be helpful for children.
Yeah, but you're just helping a little bit, right? Not too much.
Yeah, and sometimes you you fake. You're
Yeah.
not
You said, oh,
helping them
you
at
did it.
all.
You did it. I didn't. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay.
So they think to that you will help them, and
Yeah.
they do, they use a lot of power to jump, and you are not helping them,
So you know what
or
that
you
reminds me of?
or
When
you
I was
help
18.
them just when is the landing phase, so not to fall down
Mm,
too hard.
so then you can catch them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that I was almost cut you off then. That reminds me when I was 18, the first time I landed a backflip was Katie Stain species, not want to listen to this anyway, but her boyfriend at the time, they were break dancers, and I wanted to learn a backflip, and they're like, "Oh, it's easy. We can teach you in one day." I'm like, "Really? Okay." And they just like do this, and they help me, and they help me, and then they're like, "Yeah, you're good. Yeah, we'll do it." And then they went, but they didn't help me, and I landed like on all fours. But technically, it was almost kind of a backflip. But then I didn't want to try again because I'm like, I don't trust you guys, so I didn't try. And that would I forgot about it for years, you know. But it's one of those things. If you think someone is helping you, you're gonna go because oh you've got me. You know, it's that confidence
Yeah.
that you need. I think is really important. Okay, so we've just crossed 2 hours,
Wow.
and we still have 10 people listening, plus whoever else is going to listen after. So, uh, what else have we got here? So let's talk a little bit more about your other hobbies, about your degree, your skating stats website, co-video as well. Let's start with the figure skating stats website. When did you start it? Why did you start it? And why is there no inline figure skating stats on there?
Yeah, when so when I come back to my hometown after stopping the ice skating career, I changed the university. So I started studying computer science at Venice University. Now in few months I will get my degree finally.
Amazing, amazing. You should be really proud, or as long as you pass, right?
Yeah, no, I've passed
No.
all my exams. I just have to upload the thesis,
Well,
and it's
it's
it.
not actually the passing, is it? It's what you learned along the way. Whether you pass or you fail, it's what you've learned, right? That's actually
Yeah.
the most important. But yeah,
So we were in lockdown in Italy, probably in a lot of other places around the world, and I was, I was bored, so I was getting in touch with other of my friends, and two of them are from Turin. So we get in touch and we decide to start something, and we started Covideo. That's just machine learning. Uh, it's an application that detect if a person is wearing a mask or not, and get it's there's a lot of other stuff inside that are saved, like stats, so numbers, and then you can have some charts about the wearing or not wearing mask uh,
mm.
if you're using this software. It's a free software, so everyone can use it. There's an online demo if you want to try it out. Um,
I tried it. I had no mask. It said I had a mask, but I had my no. I didn't.
yeah, we
I
had
did.
some problems because we had to use a data set of 40,000 images, and we had to
Wow.
label all of them, and it was crazy. I was done after a week labeling all these images, because you have to draw a rectangle around the face of a person and then saying if he's wearing or not a mask.
Oh my God.
Then you have to put all these images all together in, there's this stuff that is called a neural network, and you have to train that thing to understand which one is wearing a mask and which one not. So
Interesting.
it
So
was really
what?
hard.
Where do you see the application for something like this? Do you see this with like I don't know, airports or shops or everywhere? Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
everywhere. The demo is working online, so you can see that also from a mobile phone you can have some good results, some maybe not good but acceptable results. And that's important because a neural network is hard to be used on mobiles, on
Yeah.
smartphones, and having something that you can use with cheap hardware is important for everyone that is not a company that can afford
Yeah.
something more.
See,
So yeah, shops
I,
or
I,
things like
yeah, I'm
that.
looking forward to not wearing a mask. I mean, in Poland here, we have to wear a mask everywhere. I can't wait to not wear to not. Sometimes I'll be in Natalia's house. I'm upstairs, and I go downstairs, and I'm like, oh, where's my mask? I'm like, oh no, I'm in the house. I'm like, I don't need my mask. It's like psychologically, it's weird. Like maybe soon in the phone, there'll be the software will be in the phone, and it knows I'm not wearing a mask, and the phone just turns off because I don't have a mask on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
And figure
And
skating stats is just a website I made. I was always in lockdown and I was thinking, always bored because you cannot go out and train and do stuff, just off skates things and like this kind of stuff. So I started a course, an online course with Harvard, and it was web programming with Python and JavaScript that are two different languages. And that was a university course with some exercitations. So you have to do some exercise and give them the exercises to be evaluated. And at the end, there were these big project to do. And so I started the Figure Skating Stats website. And in the end, I passed the course and I continued to develop this website. It's kind of cool because you have more than 130 competition inside, all
yeah,
about
nice. I
ice
mean,
figure skating.
I had a look through it, and I don't. I remember, like before when you were like, okay, what was the score for this, and you don't know where to go. You're trying to,
Yeah,
you're on the ISU website, and it's like I can't find what I'm looking for. Like I don't. I mean, obviously there probably is another one because someone else has probably made one. I don't know it. But it's so cool. Like I posted it on my Facebook. I want to actually post it, send it to some people because like that's how many people see your feeds on Facebook. I mean, unless it's a birthday or it's a wedding, and then everyone likes it straight away, and then it grows. You know how it is. They just want you to pay money
or
for
if
your
you
posts,
yeah
right?
if you put
You know,
money on, yeah.
yeah. So it's hard. No, but that's cool. And I think we've kind of covered everything. Like, so the everyone that's still here, that's probably been here the whole time. Do you have any questions for either of us? And if not, I think that's kind of. I mean, we talked for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
I wish someone was taking notes. Did someone take notes? I know there's a video. I could watch it back and take some notes, but hopefully I'm smart enough to remember what we talked about because I feel like I learned a lot. And no, it was
Yeah,
cool.
it's been cool. It's been cool
Yeah,
to talk about inline. It's something that when I started, there was nothing about inline, and now there's people like you that are spending a lot of time making content and engaging people, growing this inline community. So it's something really important. And what you're doing is really, really cool and really helpful to a lot of people. And I'm happy to have been part of this podcast.
no, it's cool. Like I feel like I'm a little bit lucky because of these talent shows, and so I kind of everyone kind of knows me for that. So then it's easy for me to talk to everyone. So I kind of have to use that 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 magic key to open those doors, and it's cool because I feel like I'm getting things done quite quickly. Neither of us, neither of you haven't used STD, have
No,
you, Starlight?
never.
No. Funny story, Kobe. I've been messaging them the last few days, I asked them, I said, I'm trying to test all the frames at the moment so I can give feedback and help the community. And they said, we have enough people to test. I'm like, okay, fine. So, you know, obviously I don't want to pay for frames. So I'm getting them for free, you know. But anyway, that's another story. Maybe one day, because the one frames look really nice, don't they? The ones that are kind of purple and blue, they look nice, but they're probably similar. Anyway, hi boys from Spain. Oh, there's Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, another great coach.
Oh, you know, there's a big project that I'm wanting to do. I mean, I'm happy to talk about everything on here. So I would imagine there was something called the Inline Figure Skating Academy. So imagine 4 or 5 coaches from around the world. We all have an academy online. We all, you know, like I'm uploading my short, tiny little videos to my page, but I want to create really long, you know, actual video might be 20 minutes and it might have different off skates, different ideas. So imagine like you're on there and you're like, okay, for double axel or for triple salchow, here's something really cool. So it's an academy and everything is on there from beginners to advanced to ballet to dance to fitness. Everything is there, and you pay a membership per month. Maybe it's €20 per month. It's like so small for what you get, but then it's accessible to everyone. Everyone has access to all the same type of learning from all the different coaches. You know, something like this I think is cool to be done together so we can really push the sport forward. Yeah, and then cool, like I have my offline coaching where people pay so much per month, they can send me their videos, and so basically they send me videos for feedback. So then imagine on the big academy, people pay just €20 per month, but then they can if they want some feedback, okay, I want some feedback from Antonio because I really need help on my triple loop. Well, I wouldn't be helping you. That would be a question for you. And then they pay $5 or whatever it would be, and then they can get access to you for that specific thing. So this is something I'm not going to make the content in my hall, the hall where I'm making it. I'm waiting to get to Roller World where we've got 2 cameras, we've got a mic, but that's just my side. Then I will need some stuff from you, from Marta, Elizabeth. You know, this is a big project, but like every project starts with one video. I started this channel. You know how I started this channel? So I did a Zoom to someone in Mexico, and I did it for about $15 for an hour. And I'm like, you know, after PayPal charges, I'm like, I need to charge a bit more than $15 an hour. But in that lesson, she learned how to do a 1-foot spin, and she learned how to do it. I told her to skate backwards, stop on 1 foot, now do a mohawk and stop on a left inside edge. I'm like, I'm gonna start an Instagram and I'm gonna post that video because that will help people. And that's how it started. So the academy would start. Imagine, okay, send me 5 videos. So between 4 of us, we have 20 videos. And then it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows. And because of you and Elizabeth and Mark, whoever would want to be, I'm just, you know, these are the people on my mind. Because of, okay, I want to be part of that. And that will just grow. And then the skates in Ecuador, in Peru, wherever, they don't have access to coaches, but they have access to coaches because of the internet. Yeah. So that's something I think that's another conversation. And also, everyone, remember my competition that's starting on April the 15th. At the moment, I have 7 pairs of boots and frames. I have 7 toe spinners. I have 7 hoodies from my new hoodies that are coming out soon. Soon you'll see me wearing them. And I've got 7 t-shirts, and I'm going to have some more prizes, some maybe coaching, maybe some other companies that I can get on board. And it's going to be a fun competition. It's going to be 90 seconds. You just have to one edit. You can use lights, you can use choreography. You can do whatever you want. It's just a fun. There's no, okay, you've got to do an act, so you've got to do this, but there will be different levels, and it's going to be fun. So watch out for April 15th for the big announcement, and there'll be an elite where you have to do double axel or above. So you're going to be competing, my friend. And okay, here's a question. I kind of tuned in a bit late, but I'm curious if any of you experienced with a 4-wheel frame, because you can find a lot of information about 3-wheel frame. Yes, I skated for 4 years only on Pick Skate 4 wheels, and I have them here, and I love this frame. Like this is the only frame I'm so far able to do back to back, forward inside outside loops and backward inside outside loops. I can't do that on my 3 wheels yet. I keep trying. I can't do it, but I did it on these, as there's a video on there. And so I don't know. I liked these, but I also like the 3. And you know, I only changed to the 3 because I want to be a coach, and I need to be able to teach on 4 and 3 wheels. Because if you've never skated on 4 wheels, Antonio, you don't know what it's like. You know. But most people are on 3 wheels, and that's what you advise people to go to.
But
so that's why I was like,
I've done also speed skating, and I was on 4 wheels. So
yeah. No, I'm just messing. But I was like, I need to go on 3 wheels because I need to be able to. Because you know what's funny? What I thought about 3 wheels. Okay, you're always on the back 2, and then you go forward to the front 2 to do your turns. No, actually, a lot of the time I'm skating on the front 2. That just feels more comfortable, and it just depends on the frame. But until you try, you don't actually know, right? You need to know. So, yeah, like 4 or 3 wheels, you know, just get what is comfortable for you, and start somewhere, and then you can always change and go somewhere else, you know. Anyway, I have 15 minutes now to get ready for this big interview. Okay. So thank you so much for joining, everybody, and anyone that's watching this in the future. Thank you so much for watching. 2 hours and 15 minutes. That is a new record. And thank you so much, Antonio, for coming on and sharing your wealth of knowledge about everything ice, inline, and everything. And I will see you guys on Sunday. It will be 1 p.m. because we have Yi Fan Chen. Is that right?
Yeah. Chen.
Yi Fan Chen, who is even better than Antonio. No. But what's interesting about Yi Fan Chen, he's quad onto inline, and Antonio is ice to inline. So it's going to be. I'm really going to talk about quad and his story and stuff like this. I'm sure it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thanks. I read online that people are used to quad skates prefer this real frame. People, it's different. Valerius is different. I think everyone is different. You know, it's hard to say that's what they prefer. You know, I don't know what would you say to that at the bottom, that people from ice prefer 4 and people from quad prefer 3.
I will say that it depends on what you want to do with inline skates. If you want to be an inline skater, then you should try the 3 wheels, because that's the right way. And if you want to use inline skates only to, you know, keep trained and you know, practicing a little bit when you have no ice, then you can try the 4 wheel.
Oh, that is, you know what? That is the best answer. Like in different terms. If you're an ice skater and you want to do some off-ice skating to supplement your skating, then just go and buy some off-ice skates, because they're just for fun, aren't they? You can they're just in between, and they have 4. They have a lot more wheels. It is closer to ice. You have to admit, like the pick 4 wheel and the off-ice. It's when people say what's closest to ice, they're closer to ice. But I say, but is that the correct question? Is like, oh, how would I be the best inline figure skater? That's a different question. Then you're going to need a different tool for the job, you know. But if you want something that's similar to ice, just to supplement ice, then that's it. Yeah, you're very, very welcome. You see how nice we are. God, how you look when I go really close. It looks so weird. Anyway, I've got 12 minutes now, so thank you so much, Antonio. Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye. It's been a pleasure.
I will download this, and I'll have to post it later because I need to make a picture. So, yeah, ciao. Ciao,
Bye-bye.
ciao. I forgot to say I talk Italian. I have like an Italian accent, and I like a pizza, and I like a margarita pizza, and 4 cheese. I forgot all about that. I love doing Italian accent. It's like my thing. Okay, English accent, go.
Oh, hello.
Hello, I like, what do I like? Why is it I like? Why is it Italian? I like this, I like that.
Mi piace questo,
Okay.
mi piace quello.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Okay, ciao.